A genius developed this technology in the 19th century that has stunned archaeologists. Sword of Gujian. The amazing Gujian sword discovery shows that sustainability was still very important in ancient times. The bronze sword, which was discovered in a Chinese tomb in 1965, is still in very good shape. Given the inscriptions, it is obvious that this was once a strong king's weapon even though it has spent the last 2,000 years buried in the wet ground. What the ravages of time cannot accomplish in thousands of years, a man may do in a matter of seconds. The sword was lent to Singapore in 1994, where a staff member unintentionally struck the blade against a display cabinet. Due to the unsightly scratch, China decided to stop lending priceless items to other nations going forward. Oldest seismograph. The career of Chinese polymath Zhang Heng included a number of significant accomplishments. Among other things, he created the first armillary sphere and changed the calendar system, an astrometric measuring device that rotates around its own axis with the help of hydropower. However, one of Zhang's most famous achievements is the invention of what is probably the first seismograph in history. Inside the bronze, the device was a pendulum that was highly sensitive to vibrations. Depending on the direction from which the earthquake came, the corresponding dragon dropped a small ball into the mouth of the toad sitting below. This method was used to record an earthquake in 138 AD, the epicenter of which was nearly 400 miles away. Unfortunately, the original was lost over the centuries. What we see in museums today are detailed replicas. Leg prosthesis more than 2,000 years old. In our modern day, prostheses are by no means just simple stumps, they're genuine high-tech constructions. The so-called myoelectric prosthesis is currently intended to help those affected find their way back to normal life. It's considered to be the oldest surviving prosthetic leg in history. Discovered together with a skeleton in the 1880s, the prosthesis was made around the year 300 BC. In detail, it was an artificial leg that replaced the right lower leg. A thin layer of bronze was fixed over a core of wood. It's unclear whether the construction once had an artificial foot. However, this mystery will probably never be solved. The cap was destroyed in a German air raid on London in 1941. Iron Pillar Delhi. The Qutub complex has been graced by the Iron Pillar of Delhi for at least 700 years. However, its actual history goes back much further. The monument was presumably constructed under Chandragupta II's rule, which lasted from 414 until his demise. It is even more incredible given its age that the iron column is still in such remarkable shape. What's always kept the building from rusting is not clearly known. One explanation is based on the high phosphorus content of the outer protective layer. Another explanation focuses on the unique layer thickness that enables the sun to heat the column during the day so that any remaining water evaporates. Lycurgus chalice. The question of what color the Roman Lycurgus chalice has finally been answered. It always relies on whether the cup is illuminated from behind. It will glow a deep red. However, if it's illuminated from the front, it presents itself in a green glow. This stunning display of hues is the result of a substance called dichroic glass, which reflects some wavelengths while allowing others to pass through. The desired effect was achieved by adding minuscule quantities of gold and silver nanoparticles to the glass composition in the 4th century AD. Halcyphlianae hypogeum. In Malta, our forefathers made the decision to construct a massive underground complex around 3800 BC. What is currently known as the hypogeum was probably in use for 1,300 years as a place of worship and a burial ground. The true feel of the site, which is dotted with numerous underground passages, halls, and recesses, is invisible to the eye. Its structure vibrates at the supposedly sacred frequency of 111 Hz. Today, we are aware that sounds with a frequency of 111 Hz has a unique impact on our brains. Our thinking apparatus shuts down the prefrontal cortex, causing us to find ourselves in a kind of meditative trance. Some believe that this sacred frequency makes it possible to get in touch with the universe or even the Creator. Additionally, this spectrum is utilized in complementary sound therapy to treat addictions or fears. Opus cementitium. The intriguing ancient building material is more commonly referred to as Roman concrete outside of archaeological journals. This so-called masonry is unique because of its unmatched durability. Although the age of the Romans passed many centuries ago and many of their buildings are still standing. On the other hand, modern concrete has a lifespan of only 100 to 120 years. But how is it that the ancient buildings simply don't crumble? A highly particular component of volcanic ash mixed with sand, water, boulders, and burnt lime is what gives the material its amazing strength. The Romans created a kind of concrete that could be shaped in any way and was significantly more durable than modern building materials.